guys, hope you're well and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I'm Sarah. I'm a mum of two. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I'm a working mum, and I'm also a military wife, which is why I'm doing this video, because my husband's about to deploy for 6 months, yeah, while we're in the middle of this lockdown and pandemic situation. So if you've followed us for a while, you'll know that we've been through quite a lot of deployments and sea time and time apart over the past sort of like 4 or 5 years, but obviously this is a very different situation, and for all of us right now, life is very different, isn't it? It's just, honestly, like thinking back to a few weeks ago and then the situation we're in now, it's mind-blowing, all the things that we now can't do that we used to do, isn't it? So yeah, I feel like obviously when deployments are coming up, you get the usual deployment anxiety, especially because, like us, we don't live anywhere near family. My family are up in Scotland and Rob's family are in the Midlands, and we're on the south coast of England. So we're lucky, we've been here for a while. A lot of obviously military families move around a lot, and every like year, 18 months, 2 years, but we've been here for 6 years now, which is crazy because when we moved here I thought we were only going to be here for 18 months. But obviously Rob's job has changed a lot and he's been doing lots of different things, but they've all been based here where we are. So yeah, I'm lucky that I've got a really good job here, and I was in a good school, and we've got lots of friends. So we do have that support network. It's just very different from family, like, as you'll all know. I'm not very good at asking for help. I'm not very good at saying that I'm struggling. So I get the usual deployment anxieties where you're like, oh gosh, this is it again. It's just me again for the kids. Having to be both parents, having to deal with my emotions and their emotions, because obviously the ages they're at now, it's quite difficult for deployments. They're not babies anymore. They know what's going on. They ask a lot more questions. They struggle a lot more with missing their dad. Especially I love being 6. Like, I found 6 it's tough. Like it's tough for the little things, like, bless them. And then Lachlan, he's got a lot of emotions because he's at that age 3 where they still have quite a few tantrums and they're just learning how to regulate things. So yeah, there's that, and then there's obviously the trying to work and the trying to do all the life admin and all the keeping the house tidy and clean, keeping us all happy, food shopping, all that sort of stuff. So it's all like back on my shoulders and no one else's. So you get those sort of like worries and things before deployment. But the reason I'm doing this video is because obviously very different situation, because we're in lockdown, and yeah, all the like kind of minimal support that me and the kids had before this sort of situation, that's kind of vanished, obviously, because we all have to social distance, of course, and things like that. And it's scary. Like, it is scary. I spend a lot of time obviously trying to count my blessings and think of people that are in much worse situations than us. And this is not a video to moan or anything like that. It's just to kind of voice out what's going on, just for like, yeah, sharing experiences and whatever. It's not me saying that I've got it really tough or anything else, so please don't take it that way. But yeah, I feel like the worst week for me was the week we went into lockdown, because obviously I knew this deployment was looming, it was coming. It's 6 months. Have I said that? I can't remember. And this time it's not on a ship, so that's a positive thing. He's on a base, so hopefully the communication will be a lot better, because when they're on a ship, obviously they're at sea a lot, and the communication can be a bit hit or miss then, because the Wi-Fi is very up and down, and satellite phone calls are a bit here and there. And obviously with kids as well, trying to keep in touch when lines are bad, and like if you even try to video, it freezes. That's hard. Like, kids can't, sometimes it's better just not to talk. I found the last few deployments, actually, sometimes it's been easier just to speak once a week like that. Obviously email and messaging, fine, but it's just hard. It's really hard when like the kids are trying to talk, and it's just like, ugh. So yeah, we'll see this time, but he's on a base, so that's good. Hopefully, like I said, the communication will be a bit better, which is a comfort for me as well, with just knowing that I can hopefully talk to him when I'm going through like tough times and whatever. So yeah, the worst week was the week that kind of we were going into lockdown, and knowing that the schools and nurseries were shutting, because I was like, oh my goodness, I still have to work 30 hours a week at home. And my role's quite like customer facing. I'm in supply chain, so it's quite hard to catch up with things at night, because a lot of what I need to do, I need to be able to respond straight away. So yeah, I was just like, and we do, oh, just to quickly note, me and Rob do actually both have key worker status. We're both in the defence industry. And yeah, at first I was like, well, they can go to school and nursery, but then you kind of, because we will have been at home for 3 weeks before he goes, 2-3 weeks, by then you're a bit like, well, is it a good idea to then put them into school or nursery? And obviously, because I don't want to put added pressure onto those services anyway, and teachers and this, that and the other. If I can try and manage from home, I 100% will try and manage from home. It's just when it becomes unmanageable, then I don't know. But as well, like, I have to think of, what if the kids get sick or I get sick and it's just us, at least when we're in our bubble in our house and not really going anywhere or doing anything, then at least I'm hopefully cutting out that element. So yeah, I think that they'll be at home with me the whole time, but it's just hard. I had a really, really bad week when we first went into lockdown, because I was like, I can't do that. I cannot do this. Like, when I'm anxious, I don't realise I do it, but I push my tongue against the back of my teeth and I clench my jaw all the time. And I was just doing it constantly, and I felt like for a whole week I was just going to be sick, like, at any opportunity, because I just felt that all those knots in my stomach, that I was just like, which everyone will have had, like, because we're all in different situations. We're all going through a very tough time, and we're all in very unique situations. So I know that what I'm describing here, so many people will be feeling just with what they're up to and what's going on in their life, regardless of like a deployment or a husband going or whatever. So yeah, it's just, I really panicked, and then there was talk of whether I'd go up to Scotland, stay with my mum and dad and try and work from there, because then at least they could help with the kids. But then they're in their late 50s, and we've been down here in an area where there's lots of like chances of coming into contact with it, as opposed to where they are. So could I live with the guilt if I went and someone got sick? So yeah, that's off the table. Not doing that, as much as I'd love to. Like, that would be amazing. And also we've just got 2 new kittens, and just, I think for the kids as well, perhaps being here and being in their own surroundings and their own place might help them emotionally better to deal with lockdown. Because again, the kids, this is new for them, it's new for us, it's new for everybody. So it's just trying to balance up, like, in general, what's best to just get through each day, isn't it? But yeah, had a really bad week and was very upset and I don't really get like emotional and cryy or whatever, but I was not in a good place. But then I guess the same as everyone else, you ride through it. I'm lucky that Rob's here for a little bit to give me at least a couple of weeks of working from home and doing my normal hours and getting my work done, to kind of like ease work into what might happen when he goes and I can't do that sort of thing. At least I've given them a few extra weeks of like my full attention at my core hours or whatever. But yeah, I think what I'm panicking about a lot as well is when we're in the house and it's just us. It's not a case of like, what we've been doing is when we've needed food or whatever else, obviously just me or Rob go, and we just get in the car and we go and we get what we need to get and we come back, and that's fine. But when I'm on my own with the kids, the last thing I want is to go into the supermarket, have to take them, and then get judged by someone or shouted at by someone, or when people don't stop and think, well, actually maybe she's not just taking her kids out for the fun of it, because who wants to take kids food shopping anyway? I try so hard not to take my two, because they just, if I put them in the trolley, they fight with each other, they want to buy everything. If they're not in the trolley, they run off. So it's not a good experience at the best of times. So the thought of having to take them in this situation where we're trying to social distance, even when we're in supermarkets and whatever, it just fills me with the utmost dread. So I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. There's still no, from what I can see, online delivery slots, because obviously they're going to vulnerable people. And then click and collect, I've had a wee look at here and there just to kind of gauge what's going to happen. Yeah, there's not much there either. So loads of friends have offered, but you don't want to give them a whole food shop to do. It's fine for like asking for bits and bobs and whatever. But to be like, oh yeah, can you go get me my usual food shop and all the wine? But yeah, that's probably that and work are the two things that are scaring me the most practicality wise. And then what's scaring me the most emotional wise is the kids, of course, and them dealing with it all and not seeing their friends, not being in their routine, not being at school and nursery, not being constantly entertained to the point that they are, especially Lachlan at nursery, because nursery's so good. Like me trying here, again, when it's me and Rob just now, it's fine because we can bounce off each other and do different things with them and have time out when we need to and not get really stressed and everything. But when it's just me again, I'm like, oh my goodness, what, like I've bought in so much crafting stuff, and I've bought one of those tough tray things and loads of like slime things and whatever else, just anything I can think of that will give them a bit of excitement throughout the day to try and help us just get through each day. And yeah, it's the going from cooking one meal a day to now all of a sudden doing all their meals and all my meals as well, obviously. It's just all these like, yeah, logistical things, and the fact that we're not getting out and about, because that's a big drain, I think, on a lot of people's mental health. I know I'm the kind of person that needs to be out and see people, and I'm really sociable. Like, I love having friends around, and that again is one of my biggest deployment coping mechanisms. It's seeing people and being super busy and being out a lot and keeping the kids really stimulated and entertained so that they're not thinking too much and getting sad and whatever. But obviously that's all completely gone, so it's just the worry of thinking this is a huge adjustment and we're gonna have to adjust. And then, like, I guess the last little thing, so I could ramble on about this for hours probably, but the last thing that worries me is Rob being out of our bubble. So we've got our little bubble in this house, knowing that we're hopefully minimizing our risk of getting infected and getting ill, and yeah, he's deploying to a whole other place somewhere else in the world, and obviously flying there. So what's happening with him is military flying there, not civvy, and then they get, when they come off the plane, they're gonna get put into quarantine for 14 days and also get COVID tested. So I'm assuming the thing up your nose and the thing down your throat, bless him. So yeah, it's just, I guess, the worry for him, and the worry, because deployments are worrying anyway sometimes with what they're up to and what they're doing and whatever, but now with like this global situation, and my brain sometimes, I'm quite good at not what's that thing, what it's called, something where you immediately like have not disastrous thoughts, but you go straight to like the worst case scenario. I'm quite good at not doing that. But what if this gets worse? What if this gets worse and he's on the other side of the world and we're here? And yeah, and what if he gets sick and we're so far away from? What if we get sick? What if some of his family gets sick? What if some of my family gets sick? And again, he's on the other side of the world, because in previous deployments we have had, well, we've had Lachlan get quite seriously sick 2 times while he's been away, which was very hard to go through, and we've had other family members be very ill while he's away, and it's horrible. Horrible doesn't even give it justice. It's god awful. It's heartbreaking. It's soul destroying. It's really, yeah, tough to go through. So the thought of, oh, goosebumpies. Oh, see, I just don't need to think like this, and I don't think like this. It's just because I'm talking it out. But yeah, it's just a case of, and what I'm doing, it's just what I'm doing just now. I'm just taking each day as it comes. I'm not reading as much news as I used to. I'm trying to just be in the bubble and getting on with what I can get on with, not putting too much pressure on myself to do everything I usually do, because I'm terrible. I'm a need to do everything and everything to my best ability kind of destructive mentality sometimes, and I'm trying to be more chilled out and be more go with the flow and just figure it out, because everybody's in a new boat and situation and just trying to figure it out. So yeah, that was a lot more rambly than I meant it to be. I'm really sorry, but I haven't done any of these sit down videos for a while, so it's been nice. It's been nice to chat. And yeah, I will probably do a video after he goes and just let you guys know where it's at, and I could just be like a big shell of a person, a big mess of a person, who knows, but hopefully not. Thanks so much for watching, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Bye!